Hello, everybody, and welcome to TFT Tarot for today, Divine Dabblings with Oberon and Banshee, and it's time for Goth Tarot. And Goth Tarot explores dark, shadowy issues of our lives, the things that maybe give us codependencies or codependent behaviors, or other things that make us act in ways we don't always appreciate, and we end up paying the price for it sometimes. So this month we've been exploring the concept of the dark passenger, another form of denial. We'll get to more of that again. We're continuing work on that, but I'm going to start with an reading affirmation from the Earth and Bone Oracle. And that's it there, The Earth and Bone by Syrian Shadow. And Shadow, appropriately named Shadow. Wholeness, integration, repressed emotions, mystery. Wholeness, integration, repressed emotions, mystery. You are absorbing the shadow half of yourself as one being. The aspect of yourself that you'd rather keep concealed emerges and surfaces, forcing you to face it. As difficult as this task is, it is essential to build internal unity and harmony in order to rise to higher realms. Do not allow others' views and opinions of the past to rule over and control you. We may actively begin the healing effort after we are completely aware of what we would rather hide from the world. Accept and embrace the dark elements of yourself that you previously may have felt compelled to hide. We can begin to learn, forgive, and grow from the trauma of suppression once we know that we have complete control over our own reality. The old wounds and traumas have been released, and they no longer affect the person you are today. Although it can be tough to let go of deep-rooted pain, remember that you are all powerful and capable of manifesting everything you choose. Reality is a product of thought and imagination. Therefore, to gain control over it, you must realize that you are in control. If the anguish of past suppressed memories and emotions arise, understand that you have the power to acknowledge what happened in the past and that you now live in the present. Sitting with your shadow entails sitting with the side of yourself that has formed as a result of past experiences. As you forgive the old version of yourself for not knowing any better or for not trusting in your inner knowing, you begin merging with your shadow. Affirmation. I accept that my past does not define me. I forgive my past. I accept all aspects and parts of me. I am in control of who I am. I am loved. I am worthy. And I am whole. All right. So, of course, that may have had something to do with the shadow we're dealing with, and that, of course, was the dark passenger. So I'm going to let us reflect on that for a moment. I create a sympathetic inner dialogue. As soon as you hear my cold, monotonous, and negative voice, all your senses are on alert. I activate your sympathetic nervous system, and you find yourself filled with dread. I constantly remind you of your failures and make you think you are alone in the world and can only depend on yourself. I am the voice of your dark side, your suffering, which envelops you in dismal and painful energy. I don't believe in beautiful surprises, happiness, or love. I am with you because you grew into who you are today. Your daily life was filled with great fear, immense anger, and considerable trauma. When you were younger, you considered serenity, love, and happiness as distant pipe dreams. You grew up flat on the ground, yet I know you did everything you could to get back up. I protect you from what you don't know, and when you let yourself be led by me, you stay focused only on yourself and never confront your fears. I halt every action aimed at change. Well, a dark passenger indeed, and it would almost seem like it's a backseat or Sunday driver, somebody that basically tries to control you. And so this is how you set up, various facades or reasons or excuses to deny you being able to be involved in situations or to take charge or part in situations. It's about protecting yourself from something that happened a long time ago, and you weren't able to control what happened to you. And so the dark passenger sort of is that blockade in a way, or a sense of being able to invoke denial. Well, all right then. So now we're going to update with our shadow work. How have we been really working with the dark passenger? If I look at that opening card from the Earth and Bone, it's saying that there is some work to be done here, and that we have to consider all options open when it comes with further addressing this. So, you know, sometimes denial is just really strong rooted. So let's take a brief look through the Erethereal Shadow Work Tarot and give ourselves a sense of an update. And this update could tell us where we possibly still need to address more work. All right, so I'm going to rearrange the cards a little bit. I think I'll put that one there and that one there. It's the reversed King of Pentacles. So we are having problems because we're not sure how we want to manage this in our lives. We may have felt that meditation or reflection on these matters has given us some ideas of, you know, working against, you know, this shadow. But we may be finding that managing all of this, or actually even surrendering a part of our power in some way, may be causing us to not fully absorb what we're trying to do, or to not fully be able to focus on that. Something does seem to make us feel that we're not really controlling this progress, or that we're disaffected somehow. All right, I'm going to move on from here, and we're going to go to the Dark Avatar. And the Dark Avatar could be related to the Dark Passenger. It could be related to that concept of shadow work we have for this month. But it's also a very likely idea that it could be something else. And what that is that it is basically a persona, an avatar, that we create to project ourselves into. And that includes the idea of the shadow. And this is where I flounder a little bit, because I can't always express it in the correct words, but we sort of use it as a proxy for ourselves, I guess. And so we don't take it seriously. We can sort of blame this other aspect, or this persona, as the reason it causes a problem, or what exactly kind of problem it causes. So what is the Dark Avatar? What is the way that you try to make it seem like it's somebody else, or construct another personality about it? It's another king. It's the King of Wands, upright. So so we're affecting an overemphasis on our charisma and our charm and maybe our ability to be conceited in certain ways, or a little bit egotistical about how valuable we are. And so this persona sort of hides the fears we feel with the dark passenger. It becomes a way of maybe overcompensating for this shadow, for this dark passenger. And by overcompensating, then I mean it may actually almost represent kind of like another personality. And then we can kind of back away from it and sort of say, well, we didn't really mean that. We were just sort of having a little fun. I mean, it's not exactly like cosplaying, but maybe it's like a psychological form of cosplaying. I'm going to have to do some more thinking about what the dark avatar means for shadow work in general, and or the particular shadow energies we're working with. But for now, I'm going to move on to the next phase, and the next phase is the dark trick. The dark trick could be the actual things we do, subconsciously or otherwise, to evade detection or to distract when people are getting close to confronting us about our shadow or about what our shadow is doing. I use the Joker Tarot because, of course, the Joker is a trickster, and that's what we're talking about. So the dark trick could actually represent something that's done, that we do, in order to hide or distract. Look, a squirrel! But seriously, it could be outright deceitful too. And if we're doing that, we need to be aware that we're not really doing it for a good reason, and we should confront our own selves about it. What kinds of trickery are we employing? It's the Fool reversed. The Fool reversed is maybe a deceit that's intended to be a little bit more consequence driven, and that we may be using a variation of FAFO, that if people are trying to confront us, or people are trying to break into our sense of the shadow, we might find or try to find ways to make them not want to do that. It's like maybe it's a form of aversion therapy, like we just might be trying to find a way to make it backfire on them. All right. Is any of this able to be reconciled? Can we figure out ways to turn that king back around and begin better management? Because we're kind of acting out egotistically. We're sort of puffing ourselves up in a dark avatar of being overly noble, but we're overly compensating. And at some point, if somebody's still getting a little bit too in our business, we might try to foil that in some way. What is a way to reconcile this? How can we reach the dark horizon? I'm going to use the Night Sun Tarot for that. And the dark horizon is where light meets dark, I guess you could say. So it's a perfect concept in a way. What bridges the gap between all of this? What is either a technique, a philosophy, a resource, an attitude to adopt that helps kind of bring that plateau level out there? Is it even possible? From the dark night, from the Night Sun Tarot, it's the moon. There's a mystery behind all of this. There's maybe things that still aren't known. There are unknown knowns or known unknowns. We know that there's something that's a mystery that we don't quite know. Maybe it's what really brings on the sense of what the dark passenger is about, or maybe it informs those other attitudes we're going through with the other cards. But the best way to bridge all this and to possibly try to do that is to realize there's still more to know. Maybe we have to do a deeper level of shadow work even. I almost wonder if in the closing affirmation it might give us a clue. But we still have one more week, the 4th week, and I usually reserve that week for the tying up of any loose ends and maybe a little bit of a deeper meditation to bring us back into equilibrium of some sort. So let's end now, though, with the meditation from the Dark Light Oracle. It's the Holy Gate. The doors of pure happiness will soon be open. Oh my gosh, I sure hope so. Don't we all? Don't say it if you don't mean it. The path was long and sometimes very hard. You've traveled through dark forest, you've climbed huge mountains, but there you are. You finally reached your destination, and you ought to be proud of yourself. The gates of heaven are about to be opened for you. Once you've crossed this threshold, you will experience a considerable change in your life. Bliss will be your new kingdom, for your soul has reached a point where wisdom, happiness, and joy can become your everyday clothing. So welcome, friend. Welcome to heaven. Affirmation. I feel proud for everything I've achieved so far. I feel complete and blessed. I feel grateful in advance for all the happiness life is about to bring me. Okay, so it really looks like light at the end of the tunnel, but I'm not one to judge, but maybe the deeper shadow effects of the dark passenger are easier to absorb and incorporate once we realize that people really do want to be helpful, and that your past may be an excuse for what you went through, but it's not an excuse for moving forward. And we can pass through that holy gate, and we can find happiness, and we can find what our role should be. All right, we'll wrap this up next week. Don't forget to watch our live show tomorrow night from 7 to 9 p.m. Regular live stream, Tarot After Dark. On Friday is my Emotional Exchanges problem at 7 a.m. And that's a reading for the signs of the zodiac on love and relationships. Saturday brings us to happy hour, and I believe that's going to be at 10 a.m. So no big changes there. Happy hours at 10 a.m. Come and get a happy message. One card per person with just a happy, uplifting, positive message. Sunday at 10 a.m. is the Material Matters, and that's Banshee's Material Matters. It's a recorded show, once again, for the signs of the zodiac, with the economic key points for success in the week ahead. But we are live in our chat room, and we illuminate the reading. Banshee illuminates the reading with further information, and we all gather and are very supportive. And then later on Sunday, we will have our Sunday live stream from 2 to 4 p.m. And once again, you can ask any question, and we will do our best to answer that. So we thank everybody. Don't forget to support us, give us likes, subscribe if you haven't. Consider a donation through PayPal, and we will see you next time on Goth Tarot. Bye now.